What is going on, Fit Fam? Welcome on back to my channel. My name is Megan Janice, the founder of Nomadic Fitness, and I teach you ladies how to eat way more food without any restrictions and work out smarter instead of harder so you can build that banging hourglass body, feel amazing, and stay this way all the time year round for life. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and if you're coming on back, thanks so much for joining for another video. All right, so today we're talking about probably my favorite topic ever, which is the 5 reasons why you need to be eating more food. Why eating more food is actually gonna make you look and feel better. So let's get into these 5 reasons. Reason number 1, the more food you eat, the higher your overall calorie burn will be 24/7 on autopilot. So there are 4 sources which contribute to your total daily energy expenditure, otherwise called your TDEE. The first is your metabolism, which takes up the vast majority, at least 70%. And your metabolism is essentially just all of the calories it costs your body to keep you alive. So even if you laid in bed, you didn't do anything, you literally just laid there, you'd still be burning all these calories just for your brain to be thinking, your heart to be pumping, all of that good stuff. Then the second source of calorie burn comes from your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and this is all the movement you do throughout your day that isn't actual exercise. So the biggest thing is walking, but even things like this, moving your hands around, standing up, picking something up off the ground, all of that falls into your NEAT. Then the third source is your digestion, which is the thermic effect of food. So it costs your body calories to burn through and process your food. And then the last source is your actual exercise. So that's your EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, which is the amount of calories you burn in the workout itself, which, as you can see, that is the least contributing factor. It is only 5%. Okay, so essentially when you eat more food, and you do this in a consistent way, I don't mean just one day you have like a really high calorie intake and then you go back to barely eating. It has to be that you are consistently eating more and more, and then your body adapts to that amount of food, because your body will always adapt to what is going on. So what's gonna happen is your body is gonna start to automatically burn through more calories because there's more coming in. So your metabolism will adapt, you'll start burning more all the time. Your digestion is gonna increase because you're literally eating more food, so your body has to digest more, which means burning more calories. You're gonna subconsciously have more energy to be active, to be moving. So even things like fidgeting like this, if you are eating less food, you're not gonna be doing that as much because subconsciously you don't have enough fuel and your body's gonna try to pull back on that. And then of course, if you are eating more food, you're gonna have way more energy to have great workouts, so you're gonna burn more calories in the gym too. So it is so important to understand this because it is the secret to your easy long-term success. And the reason why so many people don't know this is, well, number 1, we're obviously not educated about it. And number 2, we're always told that weight loss or fat loss can only happen if you're in a calorie deficit. So when people hear that, they think, okay, to create a calorie deficit, I'm just gonna eat less food and then do more cardio to burn more calories. And yeah, that's one way to do it, but I'm gonna explain why in a bit that ends up not being as effective. The way that is effective is to make a deficit happen so that you can lose body fat from a higher calorie output overall. And again, you saw that your actual workout is only 5% of your calorie burn, so just doing way more exercise is not the way to do it. The way to do it is especially to make your metabolism faster and just have more energy going out automatically. And that happens when you eat more food because your body will adapt. Now, of course, when I say eat more food, there does have to be some sort of strategy to this, meaning you obviously want to have the right macro ratio because you want to make sure you're getting enough of protein, fats, and carbs. And the way that the average person is eating, I can promise you, in fact, if you were to go actually track your intake, if you're not somebody who's obviously already active in the gym and already knows everything I'm talking about, I can guarantee you that if you look at what you ate, you would see it was really high fat, pretty low carb, and very low protein. So you actually need to swap all of those things and you're gonna look and feel like a totally different person. High protein, very high carb, and moderate fat. So if you don't know the amount that you should be eating for your goals, then make sure to head to this video because I walk you through step by step exactly how to calculate the right amount for your body. Okay, the second reason why you need to be eating more food is because the more food you eat, the more muscle you can gain. So it's so important to realize that you do not just want to lose weight or even lose body fat. Hopefully you are aware that it's not just weight, it's a type of weight that you want to lose, and the type of weight you want to lose is body fat, but there's a type of weight you want to gain, and that is muscle. You honestly aren't going to look very good or definitely feel very good if you do not have muscle underneath all of that body fat. I mean, sure, you can get a bit smaller, and for some people that's what they want, but the thing is, ultimately you're really gonna only end up skinny fat, if anything. You're not gonna have much strength, and your body's just gonna be a little bit flabby and mushy, and that's because it's the muscle that makes everything smooth, firm, and tight, gives you all the definition definition, gives you all the shape and lines. So not only is muscle the thing that's gonna make you aesthetically look the way that you want, but the other reason that muscle is so powerful is because muscle is very calorically expensive for your body. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn 24/7 on autopilot again, because muscle is going to make your metabolism faster. Again, you take somebody who doesn't have that much muscle, and if they laid in bed all day, yeah, they'd still be burning calories. But if you took a person who did have a good bit of muscle, laid in bed all day, they'd be burning way more calories because they already have all that muscle on their body, and it costs their body more calories just to keep them alive because the muscle burns up so many calories. Now the thing is, you are not going to be able to gain muscle if you are barely eating. And again, this is why so many people try to lose weight by slashing their calories, and they end up kind of disappointed because yeah, maybe they got a little smaller, but again, they're just kind of skinny fat. They really don't have any shape or definition. And this is because that is going to come when you take time to build muscle. So in order to build muscle, you obviously need to be putting the right stimulus on your muscle. So the best way to do that is to actually lift weights, either at home or in a gym, and get stronger consistently over time so that the muscle is going to have a reason to continue to grow. But you also need to be fueling your body, and you need to give it a lot of fuel to build muscle. Really, you need to be eating a little bit above what your maintenance calories are. Your maintenance would be exactly the amount of calories your body is currently burning based on everything you're eating and what your lifestyle is like. So in order to gain muscle, you need to eat a little bit more than that. And sometimes you're gonna have to be a little bit patient, because if you really want to put on muscle, you're not necessarily gonna see so much fat loss in that phase alone, because you do need to be eating a little bit more than you're burning. Whereas in order to really effectively lose fat, you need to be eating a little bit less than you're burning. But most of the time, if you're doing things right, if you're really just in a slight surplus, you're actually gonna be able to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, which is something that I see happen all of the time with my clients. As they're increasing their calories, the fat is coming off as the muscle is coming on. All right, so this brings me to the third reason why you wanna be eating more food, and that is because you're gonna be able to lose fat more effectively in your fat loss phase. Fat loss phase is called a cut, and what a cut means is that you are going into a moderate calorie deficit. So meaning you're gonna be eating about maybe 20% less than the amount your body is burning. And that is going to force your body to use the body fat that you wanna get rid of as the source of fuel that it's not getting from the food. So here's the thing, you don't wanna just cut randomly, you don't wanna just go into it first thing. You wanna really prime your body to have an effective fat loss phase so that you can really maximize your results and feel as good as possible throughout the journey. Because going into a calorie deficit, it is going to be a little bit testing on your willpower, because as you're getting towards the end, you're probably gonna start to get kind of hungry. You obviously are eating less calories overall, so it means that maybe you have to be a little bit more strict, more disciplined with your food choices, say no to offers to go out to eat and drink, etc. But the thing is, you can have a really good quality fat loss phase if you set yourself up for a good quality fat loss phase, and you do that by eating more food. Because think about it, if you go into a fat loss phase already eating a very high calorie intake, and this is why I always say as a woman, you should not go into a fat loss phase eating any less than 2,000 calories a day consistently, obviously with the right macro split, high protein, very high carb, moderate fat. But really it's better if you can go even higher than that, and if you can go into a fat loss phase at like anywhere from 22 to 2,500 calories, perhaps even more. Because the higher your calorie intake is going into a fat loss phase, number one, that means the higher your overall calorie burn is, which means your metabolism is gonna be way more effective, and means you're gonna be able to lose more fat because you're burning more calories all of the time. Number two, you're gonna be able to maintain the most muscle possible and have the most energy, because again, obviously the more food you eat, the more energy you actually have. And the thing about going into a calorie deficit, since you are eating a little bit less than you're burning, you're ultimately most likely gonna lose a little bit of muscle during a cut, because you can't force your body to only lose fat. It's also going to lose a little bit of muscle because it's gonna pull from both of those sources. But you definitely can optimize your body to lose as little muscle as possible, and you do that by eating a high protein diet, because that's the thing that obviously keeps your muscles alive. And then especially the thing that's really gonna protect muscle loss during a fat loss phase is strength training, because you gotta be putting the stimulus on your muscles consistently to keep them active, keep them engaged while you're in that deficit. And then lastly, the higher your intake is going into a calorie deficit, the more room you're gonna have to drop your calories, because as you go through the deficit, your body is going to be adapting, and eventually what was once a deficit is no longer going to be a deficit. Meaning if you start your cut at 2,200 calories and then you initially would go down to like 2,000 or 1,900 calories, that's probably gonna work pretty well for a couple of weeks, but eventually you're gonna see that you're not really leaning out anymore because your body has adapted. So you have one of two choices at that point. You can either increase cardio, which a lot of the time is what I recommend, because you do really wanna keep your calorie intake as high as possible for all the reasons that I've already explained. But eventually you are gonna have to continue to decrease your calories to continue to see more fat loss. So let's say you're going into a deficit only eating 1,800 calories. Well, you're really not gonna have far to drop versus going into a deficit with 2,500 calories. You're gonna have a ton of room to drop and your body's gonna be burning more calories all the time anyways. So if you'd like to know how to go through an effective fat loss phase, the exact details of it, I made an entire video all about that, how to lose fat for good, and it pretty much just walks you through how to do a cut properly and how to set yourself up for a successful cut. So make sure to check out that video here. Okay, the fourth reason why you should be eating more food is because you're gonna feel way better. You're gonna have so much more energy because think about it, food is calories and calories is energy. And honestly, this is something I hear from clients or just women who follow me all the time. As soon as these women start eating more food, they'll always message me being like, oh my God, I have so much more energy now. And I'm like, of course you do, because you literally weren't taking in that much energy before. You weren't eating that much food. So of course you felt tired, you felt sluggish, brain fog, because you weren't giving your body anything to actually work with. So you will see when you're eating more food, you feel so much better. You have so much more clarity. You're not having all these crashes. And another huge thing you're gonna notice is that you don't have all these crazy cravings. A lot of the time when women tell me they really crave all this sugary stuff, and then I ask what they're eating, I can always tell the reason why that's happening is because they're not eating enough, especially usually that they're not eating enough carbs. And then they're shocked because they're like, I thought I wasn't supposed to really be eating carbs. But then as soon as they do, all those cravings go away. And that's because now they're actually satiated. The cravings is really only coming from the fact that you're hungry. So if you just ate enough, you wouldn't be getting them in the first place. And then another reason why it is so awesome to be eating more food and having more energy is that is gonna translate into what you can do in the gym. You're gonna notice a huge difference between how well you can perform when you're eating at maintenance or in a surplus versus when you're in a calorie deficit. Your gym sessions are gonna get pretty difficult as you go through a deficit because you literally just don't have that much energy to really work with. Whereas when you're at maintenance or above, ideally, that's when you're gonna be able to really gain muscle because you have so much energy to push hard in the gym and perform really well and recover well, because your muscles are also gonna have fuel to rebuild and recover better when you're eating more. Okay, and then the fifth and final reason why you should be eating more food is because it makes it so much easier for you to have a balanced, realistic lifestyle. Think about it. It would be so much easier for you to go out to a restaurant and have some food with your friends if your daily intake is 2,500 calories than it would be if your daily intake is only 1,500 calories. For example, I've been eating 2,600 calories for the last while, and I was traveling about a month ago, and it was really easy for me to actually still be hitting my macros. I mean, obviously I was estimating what I was eating because I didn't know for sure what was in the food, but since I've been tracking macros for so long, it's pretty easy for me to have a good idea. And I was honestly shocked how easy it was for me to be eating meals out and still getting enough of what I needed. In fact, if anything, I was actually under eating because it was kind of harder to be eating enough when I wasn't the one in my own kitchen making several meals a day as I normally do. So when you have that higher intake, you're gonna be able to go out, have fun, go on vacation, and you're gonna see that it doesn't make any difference to your results because your calorie burn is already so high. You already have all this muscle. That's not just gonna change by going out a few times. So it's just so much more freeing to be in that abundant state versus being in this constant dieting mindset, eating very low calorie, and then feeling like you can't do anything because of it. All right, Fit Fam, so those are my 5 reasons why you should definitely be eating more food. And obviously you wanna do this the right way. You wanna make sure that you're getting the right ratio of each macro. So again, check out the link in the description box if you don't know what yours should be, because I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to customize that. But you're gonna see for yourself, when you start eating more food the right way, you're just gonna look and feel so much better. It's gonna be so much easier for you to get results and especially to keep them. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, comment down below if you have any questions for me, or if there's anything that you wanna see. I am always here for you, and I'd love to know what it is that you wanna see. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.